I bought this little adjustable stool at the flea market this summer, and I thought it'd be really cute to upcycle it. I paid a whole $5 for it, and later that day we went to an antique store and found them exactly like this, except they weren't adjustable, for $35. Sometimes projects are like a treasure hunt. I initially was going to take these legs off and then spray paint it. What I found out was you couldn't pull them out, but you could shorten them. So I cleaned them up and I taped them to paint them. And the screws I was trying to take out end up having a locking nut on the back. I did get them off. I will have to replace them because I stripped some of the screws, but that's all right. They're kind of nasty looking, and I think it looked pretty with some shiny new screws in it after I get it done. Now I'm going to take the pop rivets off the bottom down here, because I want to use that board over because I have an idea of something I want to try. Now I got the top off, so I can use that for a little idea I have towards the end. And now it's ready to paint. This is the top of the seat. It's got 4 holes cut in it, and I want 4 more cut in it to hold it down. This, it's not going to make any difference because you're not going to be able to see it, but this was off my love seat when I tore that apart. I'm going to cut one layer the same size as this wooden disc and one just a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to cut my leather for that. I cut a piece of leather, and I changed my mind. I wasn't going to put any batting, but I'm putting 2 layers of batting, and these were off that love seat that I tore apart, and then I'll be putting it on like that and fasten it over, and I will be back with you in just a minute. On the top of this stool, I drilled 4 extra holes to hold it down better once I put the padding and material on it, but be sure you mark where one of the holes goes, because no matter how good you measure, it's going to be, could be off just a little bit and be frustrating. Okay, I've got all the screws through here. It was a bit of a challenge between a pick, a knitting needle, some pointed scissors, trying to get through all those layers, and I finally got it through there. I did put nuts on the back just to hold them till I get these sides pulled. I'm going to take and then I'm going to run a heavy button thread from one side to the other to get that all straightened out before I attach it to the chair. What I've done is I've run the strings across each side so that it doesn't pucker. On the front side, I'm going to place some duct tape around here. I would normally staple this, but the board's too thin, and I didn't want any points around the edges. So I'll show you this when I get it finished. The little chair that I was finishing is done. I got the top on. It was a little difficult with the 2 layers of batting from the love seat that I tore apart, so I had to take one away. And it was difficult where I put the screws at the legs because it was hard to get a bolt under here. But I did scratch the paint a little bit right here, and I wanted to show you how I fixed that. Try to do this left-handed. I take a cheap paintbrush, spray a little paint in the lid, and then dab it on. Because you don't want to spray there because you don't want to get it on the material. Now on the top of this, I put 8 bolts in, 8 screws, I'm sorry. Put 8 screws in because I wanted to hold the thin piece of wood down, plus I wanted it to hold the upholstery down on the edges. I used washers underneath the screw head so that they didn't tear into this fake vinyl stuff. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. See you in a couple weeks.